huge focus on development and on bringing money into the city so that it can provide services. Peter, you did a report on something called linkage fees. What exactly are those?
Well, here in Somerville, a linkage fee is a fee that the city asks a developer of large commercial spaces to pay. Boston and Cambridge have similar fees. Somerville requires that all investors who are developing commercial space of 30,000 square feet or more pay $5.15 per square foot to the city. That's almost $2 more per square foot than it had been for the past 10 years. The money will go into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which is used to create affordable housing in the city.
So now I'm just trying to figure out, how much is 30,000 square feet?
Well, it's about half of an NFL football field if you include the end zones. Of course, that's all on one level. So if a developer is building something that is more than one story, the actual footprint could be smaller. For example, if our building, the old firehouse in Union Square, had 6 floors of commercial space, that would be 30,000 square feet, because our footprint is 5,000 square feet. City officials say that since 1991, linkage fees have brought almost $2 million into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, which creates affordable housing in Somerville. According to a city-led Nexus study, the new increase in linkage fees will bring in around an extra $1 million over the next 10 years.
So when new commercial development comes to the city, it creates jobs, which is great. We're trying to encourage jobs to come to the city. But the people who get those jobs need to be able to find a place to live. We looked at how many of those people might need assistance with their housing. They wouldn't necessarily be able to afford market rate housing. And so we make a connection between the new development and the affordable housing that would be needed as a result of that. You're charged the fee for every square foot over 30,000. So if you have 30,000 square feet and so 30,001 square foot, you'd have a fee of $5.15.
The raise, originally proposed by the mayor in response to the study, was supported by many groups like the nonprofit Somerville Community Corporation. Recently, they held their annual dinner at the Armory.
We worked really hard to increase the affordable housing linkage fee in Somerville. It hadn't been updated in 10 years. It was in the $3 range. We really wanted to see it go up to $5.15.
If a developer is going to come in and make a profit off of something that they're building in Somerville, they should also be contributing to make sure that Somerville is an affordable, diverse, healthy place to live.
It's great that land values are increasing. There's a lot of great things happening in Somerville, but we want to make sure that the people who made Somerville great get to stay here.
St. Polycarp is one of SCC's most recent projects. We just finished St. Polycarp Phase 3, which is going to add 31 new affordable apartments to the mix, and they have a mix of tax credit housing and Section 8 housing and some housing that's available for people transitioning out of homelessness.
It also includes a church and a home for teen mothers and their children. That is funded in part by funds that go into the Affordable Housing Trust Fund, each phase of that. So that's the type of work that the linkage fees can help to contribute.
Not everyone is happy about the $2 per square foot increase. Several developers were reluctant to talk on camera, perhaps because they are involved in ongoing developments. Real estate consultant Steve Bremus works with developers across the city.
I don't disagree with the developers should help with the affordable housing. I guess the question is, how much should they be liable for? What a lot of people don't realize is what the developer has to go through and the risk they're already taking. And this increases that risk, fairly substantially. And the land costs are reaching prices that we've never seen before. Is it a good thing? I guess it depends on who you talk to. It really does. For Somerville, it brings us closer to Cambridge, as far as a price point. I still think it's more affordable than Cambridge, but for the residents that live here, no, it's very difficult. Because you'll hear it time and time again that the people that grew up here, can't afford to live here.
In my research, I learned that at one of the biggest developments in the city, Assembly Square, developers are getting a break. They only pay the fee after the first 300,000 square feet. The agreement means the Assembly Square developers can develop 10 times the amount of space before the fee kicks in when compared to the limits imposed on the typical developer in Somerville.
The more difficult you make it, the less likely builders are going to want to do their business here. And that's where you start to walk a fine line.
No question that housing is getting more expensive as land prices are increasing in Somerville. Many see the linkage fees as a way to address that challenge. The city says that over the next decade, investors will develop over 900,000 square feet of commercial space, including many sites right here in Union Square. This sounds like good news for linkage fee advocates, but will other developers get deals like the one cut at Assembly Square? For Somerville Neighborhood News, I'm Peter Balanon-Rosen.